Beloved brothers and sisters, yes, I'm talking to you on the topic of possessions. Actually, we are spirit, and all else are projections from the spirit, and for that matter, in a sense, spirit owns everything, not just something in particular, but everything. And when we say, I belong to something, it is wrong. Things belong to you. If I say, I am this or that, it is wrong. All of them are your projections. And at any time, you can choose to express in any of those things at will. See, and somehow we've forgotten we are spirit. Why? Because we've been indoctrinated. We've been in this zone of our own belongings to such an extent. We are sort of, out of tune with truth. So when we are awakening, then the idea that you belong to this, you belong to that, will be surpassed. And if you see anyone who says he belongs to something, you know he needs to grow. He or she needs to grow. Yes. Now, when you can see all things as your possessions, then something being good, something being bad, they are all your projections. In that matter, whatever helps you to get back to this knowledge, that is the only thing you can say it is good, in a sense. And whatever takes you away from this understanding, then you can say, no, that one is not good. Because only truth is good. What is untruth is not good. If ever there is something good, then it is truth. If ever there is something bad, then it is untruth. All else can be said to be good. Brothers and sisters, we are in a generation. We separate ourselves from others based on our conceptions, time and space, which are also conceptions of the mind. They are concepts. We project them, then somebody belongs to this or that. Whatever differences we see, They are part of the illusory manifestations. Illusory because they are passing. They are not stable. Only the very you is stable. It's the background upon which all these things are moving. It's just like the screen. Your very self, you are like the screen. And all that show is happening upon you. And they are passing, they are changing. But the screen doesn't change. When the show is over, the screen is there. It has been there, it is there, it will be there. And this understanding we need to have in our very fabric. And once we have it this way, then things get easier. Life becomes difficult when untruth is really taking us truth. And when truth is ignored, this type of ignorance can be said to be, if ever there is anything called sin, then it is ignorance. Ignorance is sin. And the only virtue is when we realize truth. And it's a subject of realization. It has to be realized. As I'm speaking to you, you may be thinking about it. But thinking about it is not it. It has to be realized. Because it is beyond the mind. Mind is a new thing. Self has always been there. Mind is a step-down frequency. And it will be resolved back into the highest frequency and become spirit. So, brothers and sisters, with this understanding, whatever we see, we must go beyond the classifications. The classifications are conditional. Our minds are conditioned. Our minds are conditioned. Under certain circumstances, we behold certain beliefs, and even in another situation, we can change the belief. But the background doesn't change. Look at science, for example. What used to be the scientific principles accepted, right now, they are all gone. And new things are replacing. Those days, those very principles were seen as reality. And then something more real comes up. And what has come, later something more real will come. So this is where the illusion falls. And it goes on and on, till we awaken. to the true reality that doesn't change. So today, the topic of possessions, whatever we claim for ourselves, is a bit of unfortunate because you already own everything, and owning things in particular brings about competition, and it gets to be unhealthy competition because we want to surpass the other. It could get better even if we were to think of competing with our own selves. That is, ourself that is in ignorance. We need to compete to get better than that self. It's not competition with another. Yourself is identified by, at the moment, it's identified by circumstances. And when the circumstances change, then it's like we have changed. But it's not true. You're always who you are. When you were a baby growing up, and the feeling of me, the feeling of I, all the other things are changing, but when you switch on the feeling of I and me, it hasn't changed. In a sense, if we define ourselves in a way that our projections become us, that is even more of illusion. And we protect it because we think that is the reality. But it's passing away, and you get to be frustrated as time goes on. No matter what you do, it will slip off from your hands because it's not real. If you can, at this stage, awaken to the truth, then you become a witness of the whole show, a detached witness. You're not affected, and you can even enjoy the show. Let's take this example. Two persons are at the beach. One knows how to swim, the other doesn't know how to swim. When they get into the water, one is actually in anxiety, and the other is enjoying the whole scenery. Now, it's not like what is there is different for the two of them. It's the same thing. But one has gotten to a realization through the process of swimming. He can see the waves as something you can enjoy. And the other one sees the whole thing as a threat. That is how life is. When your outlook changes, the very same thing that is giving anxiety to people, you see it, and it's like you have to smile. And it's a big difference. We are growing. We are supposed to grow. We are evolving. And it is natural with all life to grow. If you're not growing, nature will force you. And always you have frustrations. When we say man proposes, God disposes, it all means God only wants evolution to go on, growth. So whatever step you are taking, which makes you stagnate, which makes you stagnant, you don't grow, you are forced out of it. You are forced out of it. And then you're frustrated. Now, if you don't want frustration, just grow. Keep going. Keep growing. And then you'll be on the side of what we call God. So this is the message I have for you, brothers and sisters. Thank you for today.